she's not going to need the mic.
If I speak without the mic, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
I want to be hands-free. Thank you, Mel. So, spirituality in the city. When asked by strangers or soon-to-be new friends why I had moved to New York City, I would reply, I needed to jump off the cliff to see if I could still fly. Woo! And it was true. I did want to fly. I was also unaware that it was I who had clipped my own wings. You see, I chose to believe my self-edited story rather than the real story. The real story of the mother without her child. The year before, my son Sage had died 1 month shy of his 11th birthday. There was no warning, and suddenly, no heartbeat and no breath. And it was this impossible dream that I could fly far enough away from my grief that I was flying towards. See, I had survived that year without my son, and I convinced myself that if I didn't leap, I was going to slowly disintegrate into a form unrecognisable to me. The sad, grieving mother. The woman who conjures up the pity and awkward social exchanges. No, this was not going to be my story. I created a new narrative. I was going to move to New York City and create this magical new world that just took all the pain away. I was going to be the successful, amazing heroine in my new story. See, the thing is, I left my home in New York, in Australia, to get to New York. So I came to one of the biggest cities on earth, a city that promises to either make you or crush you. I had big dreams. I leapt, I flew, and then I crashed. You see, on the flight that I was on, I was sure grief wasn't on that flight. But I had forgotten. Her wings are much stronger than mine. You know, at first I was really upset that she'd come. I wouldn't let her sit with me. I wouldn't let her hang out with any of my new friends. But grief, dressed all in black with wings that stretch far and wide enough to grab you, is a persistent bitch. And over the years, she's actually taught me a lot. And her favourite lesson? Let go. The beginning again part was actually much harder than I imagined. And now I think maybe that was a blessing, because if I knew what I was heading into, I don't know if I would have leapt. But flying, it takes practice and can only be achieved by leaving the edge. So I crash landed into New York City. Almost as soon as I got here, I felt very much like Alice down the road. I was in this strange land. No one I knew was around. There was all these crazy characters, mixed messages. I was trying to find my way home. I had no idea where it was. I was not successful or fabulous. I was sad and lost. I was now surrounded by hundreds and thousands of people who all knew their way around Wonderland, and here I was spinning in circles. I asked myself more than once, why did you leave? Why did you ever think it was going to be a good idea to come here? Now, I eventually found the answer to those questions, but I'm telling you, it took some time. New York City and I have now been going steady for about 5 years, and it was a shaky start, but we are now in a great love affair. And grief, she's allowed to sit with me now, and she is a great teacher to me, and some days actually she's my friend. And what I learned from this city and grief is that really just need to keep it simple. See, when I first arrived, it wasn't simple. I moved in with one of my sisters. And when I say move in, I mean I really just moved into her bedroom in a 3-bedroom share apartment in Bushwick. It was cramped and weird, not a lot of air movement. In the living space, there was no windows. And somebody had thought it was a great idea to douse the whole place in this hideous lime paint. So, no job, no friends, feeling pretty sad for myself. I sat in this kind of weird prison-like room that felt like this weird kind of snot monster had like sneezed all over it. I was depressed, eating 2-minute noodles, smoking endless cigarettes, ignoring the city outside. I mean, it was obviously not the best situation for me. And then one day I remembered the promise I made to myself days after my son died. I promised to always wish the best for myself. The snotty prison cell, not the best. So I made a new promise.
Yes.
I promised myself that every day I would meditate, or at least try and consciously breathe. And I would write, even if all the words I wrote were I would write. For I had been told in a meditation after my son passed that it would be good for me to write. Write what? I actually had no idea. But I also knew if you want to be spiritually connected, if Spirit gives you a message through a meditation or your own intuition or some other way, it's our job to listen, say thank you, and then follow. So one breath and one word at a time, I crawled out of the lime, hideous prison cell. And then winter hit. Yeah, that was a real kicker for the Australian. I didn't know about snow and ice and all of this. And it was dark. And what I found the most disturbing is I missed Earth. So what I did is I added a piece of earth to my pocket. I would carry a stone. Anytime I felt I needed grounding, I would hold the stone to remind myself, I'm okay, I'm earthbound, it's okay. Now the reason grounding is so important to me is from a lesson I learned after my son died. After I buried my son into the earth, I started to have repeated dreams. And these dreams were me in heaven. I was up in heaven, I was there with my son, there were other people there, we were playing, you know, like there was music, laughter, I mean, it was heaven. One day, or one night, while dreaming of my heaven, my friend Thomas came into the dream. And I was so pleased to see him there, he'd never been in my heaven before, so I went up to him and was like, hey Thomas! And he grabbed my hand and yanked me back down to earth. And I woke with this thud. I was pissed. So I called Thomas. I said, Thomas, why'd you do that? And he said, I didn't. You did. It's your dream. So that day, I searched and I searched and I searched. Why would you pull yourself out of heaven? It didn't seem to make any sense to me. And then that night, after I'd surrendered the search and I was sitting quietly, consciously breathing, I heard the reason why. The healing happens on earth. You cannot stay forever in the divine. You are earthbound, and that is where your lessons rise. And so again, a very clear message. And as I said, I listen, I say thank you, and I follow. You know, after that night, I never went to that heaven again. But I did understand grounding in a whole different way. If we do seek and desire healing or growth, then grounding is not only important, it is vital. So all of this is working, right? I've got a new job, I've got some friends, like New York City's kind of working, I'm meditating, writing, grounding. You know what, there were some days, just these some days, when grief and the city would just clash. And the result? Mean, nasty, dead. I was snappy, rude, impatient. Like, frankly, I was an asshole. And one thing I'm sure of, if you want this city to kick your ass, you've got to charge out there with asshole energy. Because like attracts like. So it didn't take me long to realise, okay, again, this is not the best for me. So I developed a mantra. Grief does not give me permission to be an asshole. This mantra I would chant and chant and chant on the hard days. Most often when entering or leaving the subway system, walking behind tourists, or when confronted by a New York City character. And you know what I found? I found that it actually worked. Because when you choose the path of the non-asshole, the city opens up to you. And you get to see amazing things. And some of those New York City characters, if you're lucky enough, you get to meet them. And then if you're even luckier, they'll show you their magic. So I found my way, but I still didn't quite understand why. And then one day I'm walking to the subway through Chelsea after work, and bang, there it comes. Why I moved to New York City. The answer? This city is as confronting, challenging, and hurtful and expansive as my grief. By learning to live in this city, by learning to survive here, I was learning how to live with my grief. And both the city and the grief have taught me so much, like I said, but really it's simple. Stay grounded, breathe consciously, express your gifts, listen to spirit, and choose, please choose, the way of the non-arsehole. And that to me is spiritual practice in action. And now, almost 5 years later, I have more answers. I now know about the writing, why I was being prompted to write. Because that writing is now in a book that last night was released to my publisher. And grief, that bitch that followed me around the city, she now not only has taught me so much, I now sit with others so that they can learn how to sit with her. Because really, she wants to be invited to the party. She gets a bad rap. She really does. But she does amazing things to the capacity of the heart if you can sit with her and listen to her lessons. And the grounding, you know what? New York City is now my home. And I'm happy to live here because it's not always loud and overwhelming. Some days, it's my wonderland. And some days, I get to fly.